All right. So it puts us back in Atlanta, and we were headed. At least we're not injured anymore. Let's keep going. Damn, bitten by a kid and died. Okay. So this is our first time having a second meeting with someone.
I suppose most expect a Negro to end up in prison. Yeah, there's two kinds in my estimation. There's a prison with bars, where they lock you up after they decided you'd done a crime. And there's also the prison without bars.
It's too real.
That's everywhere else, if you look hard enough. But anyway,
Thanks,
you
Harlow.
know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
Yeah, dude, I know a tragedy or two. How about this one?
Body and soul. Death. Well, when you do time, you're only doing some of your time. It all ends. Like everything else, it ends. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?
He already knows the story of the man on the beach. Ah, okay, cool. That's so dead woman. And I already told him the story about the grave. So let's tell him. Let's tell him about. I don't know, the thirsty cotton pickers, perhaps. Oh, this is kind of sad. Like she got, yeah. Let's tell that story. She got fooled, right?
I guess we all got a different sense of humor. Realizing that you have nothing and belong
That was supposed to be a
nowhere
funny story?
feels
I'm
both
confused.
like death and freedom at the same time. But anyway, you know any good true tragedies?
I mean, I'm telling you all the tragedies I know, dude, and you're not hearing them. Here.
I hear you.
There we go.
I felt some strange sadness, yes. When you get a glimpse of real freedom after being away from it for so long, you forget what it was. That can break you. You got any good happy stories? Where things work out for someone, maybe?
Yep. I got it. How about... The man who was all right with death. That's a happy story, right? Okay, I'm gonna give him the lighthouse one.
Good to hear a story that's more happy than the world really is. Nice to escape. I never loved nothing more than myself, and I ain't ashamed of it. Somebody had to. But tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen out there so far?
Wild, thrilling story. I have a few of these. How about... Let's see, what's a good thriller? Casey Jones. I haven't told you that one yet.
Now that's a story to keep a man on the edge of his seat. Some people travel because staying still makes them lose their minds. I'd like to meet those people, ask them to trade lives for a while. Here's the sun. I got to go. My road takes me up this way. But what is a man owed in this life, do you think?
What is a man?
What is a man?
I
A
never
miserable
think I
little
asked
pile
what
of
I want for
secrets.
much. Just food, shelter, fair pay for honest work. Is it selfish? I truly have to wonder. Is it selfish to feel like you're owed anything at all? Even that. Tell me, brother. What was it that you wanted? What did life bring you instead?
Life made me into a giant skeleton, unfortunately, so I didn't really get anything to do with what I wanted in my life. Okay. So, let's head back up to Tennessee. And then west to Arkansas, maybe? Let's see. Right. North, yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm gonna scroll my name on the
That's our path.
of the earth.
Oh yeah, I mean we're heading west eventually, but it's like that's a long LA is a long way off. We're not like to get there today, but we will head yonder. Oh, look at that. We just crossed the line. We've left the South. We're in the Midwest now. Which puts us in Kentucky, I guess. So we'll go to Louisville first. Welcome back, Grizzly Fluff.
A hurried little girl collides into you with a wheelbarrow full of hay, nearly knocking you out of your shoes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You nod, but the way the girl fusses over the wheelbarrow, was that apology meant for you?
No, it's meant for this hideous little gremlin.
Lost? Me? No, not at all.
She stands up taller and squares her shoulders, projecting an image of adulthood so stiff she looks about to tip over.
But I guess I could use a little help. Can I ask you something pretty, please?
Go on.
Well, I found this critter, but my daddy won't let me keep it unless I take real good care of it.
Relating this dilemma has put her on the verge of tears.
Do you know how I can be the very best pet owner in the world?
Food and shelter?
The girl bursts into hysterical laughter, like she just heard the funniest joke.
Well, I don't know how to feed it when it don't have a mouth.
What she got in
The
there?
laughter fades, and her look of worry returns.
Any other ideas?
Love and exorcism?
She smiles so bright.
That's all it takes? Gosh, I already love it so much.
That seems... Little girl with the wheelbarrow and whatever horrible thing is in it. Yeah, story upgrade. Oh, look, it's Indianapolis. I've been there. The man reads a newspaper with barely contained horror, his grimace spreading wider and wider as he makes his way down the page. Suddenly his frown cracks into something with a little more amazement in it. Whoa, he says. He reads a story about 60 unidentified corpses buried together in one cemetery. Oh, it's the anonymous grave story. Excellent. We got another story growing in the telling.
Ride with us a little while, stranger.
It's a kind offer, Miles of dusty road through the rolling prairies have recast this landscape as an exhausting soup of wind and misery.
An exhausting soup of wind and misery. Soup. Wind and misery.
There are
Tasty.
4 of them on the wagon. A perfect nuclear family. Mother, father, son, daughter. And a small fuzzy terrier trailing behind. But the pace of their movement is glacial. The draft horse ambles forward, one agonizingly slow step at a time.
Ain't no point rushing to get where we were going.
The wooden cart shivers with every pebble on the road that its wheels must laboriously traverse. The girl in the back pipes up.
The going's the point, see?
Let's keep with the cart.
Time stretches wearily. The father sometimes makes half-inch adjustments to the horse's trajectory.
Oh my god, they're on the Oregon Trail.
keeping him from ambling off the road.
Oh no.
There is some intimation that they are heading for Oregon, but at no point is it mentioned when they might arrive.
They won't. Dysentery. Then that'll be the end of that. Hey, there's Cincy. All right, let me hit this farm. We'll go to Indy, and then we'll pop over to Cincinnati.
The storm swept in just
cool.
before sundown, heralded by a purple sky and electricity in the air. He sought shelter alongside a grizzled farmer. All he can do is pace, muttering to himself.
Can't just stay here.
You catch.
Gotta find her.
He looks up at you.
My daughter was out down the road.
He balls his fists.
God, fuck this.
He hauls open the door, shielding his face from the fierce dust. He runs out into the storm. The dust scours your skin, and razor winds whip at your clothing. You struggle for breath. The maelstrom has turned the world murky red. You don't see the farmer. You press on through the
Injured
storm.
again.
You see the farmer up ahead. He's on his knees. A great, dark shape made from swirling dust looms over him. You manage no more than a cough. The dust thing engulfs the man in his body. The storm whips faster. You can't breathe. You have to get back to shelter. You make it to safety, but don't manage any sleep. The storm settles in the early hours.
Whoa.
You find the farmer laid out in the street, his corpse a shriveled mass. He has one arm stretched out in front of him, as if to crawl.
The monster in the maelstrom. Yeah, dude just wasn't hard enough. All right, Indianapolis, what you got?
The Twisters touch down in a cornfield, fence posts flying in its wake. A huge black stallion charges toward the tornado. On its back, a cowboy whips his lasso through the churning air, nearly matching
Oh, is he gonna
Twister's
rope
speed.
the tornado?
His wild laughter carries on the wind.
Yeah, this feels familiar. This feels like a familiar story.
God damn
yeah,
it, Bill.
Wild Bill.
Another man hollers, clapping his hands to his hat to keep it from flying off.
It's so
Quit
cool.
being a damn fool.
What's up, Dukas?
The man on the horse turns toward him and flashes a beatific
God damn it, Bill.
grin before digging his heels harder into the horse's flanks.
Yeah, Pecos Bill. Is the name of this guy? Yeah. Let's watch him.
His Stetson goes flying, caught by a gust. He doesn't seem to notice. He barks a single yee-haw as he stands in the stirrups, leaning into the whirlwind. In a moment, man and beast are enveloped in the storm. All you can hear is Bill's wild laughter.
I love how the gradual mythological shift has occurred. Like, I barely noticed it, but you can feel it happening, right? Like, we started in New England, in the Northeast, and we had New England stories, and we slowly, gradually shifted down into the South, and now we're coming back up through the West. It's real cool. Yeah, I'm really digging it. That's super cool. All right, so a little gas station shade, some kids telling a story, and this is an upgrade to the story about the man who swam into the ocean. All right. You're right, yeah. Wild Bill, Pecos Bill, and Buffalo Bill are all different cow folk.
The man lowers his paper as you come near. His weather-beaten face is drawn. They say it's spreading. The dust is strangling the land. Half my cattle suffocated in the last storm. We cut open the carcasses to salvage the meat. They were filled with mud.
I see.
He licks his cracked lips. They stay dry. His land is dying. If the harvest fails again, people will too. You look past him, over his dust-choked fields. You can't imagine anything growing here.
Good luck.
There's as much luck to be had around here as there is rain. He glances at the empty sky, then fixes his eyes on you. Nah. Harvest will fail. The land will die. And all this will turn to desert. You walk on.
Damn.
Trying to ignore the feel of sand in your shoes.
Oof. This seems like it'd be a really interesting time to set a role-playing game in. Like a time of apocalypse, in a way.
The plants grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes.
Ooh.
As the liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky.
That's miraculous.
He turns to you.
It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies.
He smiles.
My miracle formula will change that.
He shakes his head.
I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this.
He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf.
Here, try some.
It's just bitter at first.
Oh dear.
But as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious.
What do you think?
I like it. Lie, or it tastes like unwashed death. It's too clever. I have to do it.
He waves a
Yeah, Omidar, Carnival
yes, there are
is
some
really
kids to
cool
work
if you want
out,
the
but
same
people
kind of
are
like
starving.
vibes. Maybe a little
You
darker.
can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again.
Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed.
Uh-huh. Damn. What's up, taters? So that's Indianapolis. Cincinnati is... Where the hell is Cincinnati from here? Cincinnati is east, right? Yeah, that's Cincy over there. Okay. Okay.
A woman waits while a man in a truck fills 2 of her buckets with scoops of whitish powder from a bin. She sees you staring.
Want to make some cash?
With your
calls.
buckets of white powder? Yeah, let me just take them to Miami, and I will sell them for you, and we can make some big money.
She takes you up the drive to her farmhouse, where her son and daughter are mixing something in a metal barrel.
Locust bait.
She says,
Poison. The town bought enough for everyone, but we gotta mix it ourselves.
she'll pay you to help.
Sure.
You use a broom handle to mix the
God, I'm gonna
poison
die
with
again, aren't I?
bran. The teens watch from the porch, faces frozen in distrustful scowls. Their mother pays you well, but later in the day you feel lightheaded, tingling pins and needles all over. You feel only a little better after you vomit.
Now I just need some old lace and I'm good. I'm good to go. Also, if I take one more hit, I'm dead.
She's getting married, the soldier tells you. The two of you observe the church from the dusty road, straining to hear the faint joy of the ceremony transpiring within. I fought for 10 years to come home because she said she'd be here, waiting for me. And look, can you believe it?
Yes, I can. People are awful, I guess. And I don't know, 10 years is a long time, dude.
So what am I supposed to do? What does she expect? That I should throw myself from the nearest cliff? Walk into the ocean?
Listen,
He snorts.
I know about this
Sets
extremely
off
gay
down the
lighthouse you could go to. You could become a new man. I'm gonna wait behind.
You wait a while. Eventually, the bride emerges
Oh.
from the church,
So tragic.
alone.
Love
and
sucks.
looks out over the cornfield. When she sees you, and only you, her posture falls in a full body sigh.
Oh,
She picks up the hem of her dress and goes back inside.
damn, heartbreak. Hey, it's Columbus. That's in Ohio. I'm smart. All right, so the kindly old man's gonna upgrade my story about seagull spirits. Oh, I think that maxes out the seagull one. All right, let's enter Cincinnati. Let's see if I can earn some damn money. A tiny woman in a lush fur coat is standing outside a boutique lamp store with a package nearly as tall as she is. You there, she calls. Can you lift this? It's huge and unwieldy, but light as anything. Carry it down to my house and we'll work something out. You heft the package and follow her. She begins a rambling story about her living room, her interior decorator, her husband's taste in rugs. Fascinating, ma'am. You follow by the sound of her voice. The lamp box is so large you can't see a thing. Eventually she exclaims, "Here we are." You lay the box down in her living room. It's nowhere near as luxurious as you made it sound. A card table, a ratty couch, and a wall tapestry done in grotesque imitation of medieval style. This'll really tie the room together. Fuck yeah. Now I'm gonna buy something like Cincinnati clam chowder. They used to call this place the Paris of America, and it's fitting. The new Union Station makes you feel like an ant, and the music hall is a hell of a place to look at, too. I'm gonna... a sandwich. There we go. Alright, let's explore Cincy.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush them.
Says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din. The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air. Damn it all, says the other man.
Are you ghosts?
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow
Damnedest?
violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him.
How do I stop a ghost? Bustin' makes me feel good. Bustin', 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 bustin' makes me feel...
With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments.
The hurdy-gurdy? The shaum?
No,
The banjo?
no,
The sousaphone?
no,
The flugelhorn?
He shakes his head, exasperated.
no. The triangle.
Ah, le
The
triangle?
orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig.
Rush for le triangle.
You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake.
Got japed by a ghost.
Thanks for shutting them up, though.
All right, we moving on. Cool. I guess I'm still tired, so I gotta do a camp. Let's do one. We'll do one more camp. We'll go through Columbus and we'll hit that camp up there. Cause like, God, we have the whole of America to visit. And then I guess I can go back into Pennsylvania and then up into Buffalo. God, there's so much America. Americans, why? Your country, it's so big.
The barn and silo have seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers.
Ken? Ken?
Ken is my
I know you're here, boy.
He sees you and lopes across the field toward you.
You seen a boy around? About 14?
I hate.
He sighs.
My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last night.
He swallows.
He ain't the type to run off, neither. Can you spare a minute to help look? I'm worried sick.
The thing about Canada is that Canada is physically very large, but we all live in this narrow band right above your country. We're like your cool headband. Check the roof.
You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo. You climb up. There's a hole in the silo roof.
Oh, they got naked and then fell
A
down.
rupture where rotten wood gave way under something large. You maneuver your way along the edge, keeping your weight off the rotted panels. You poke your head inside.
Yep.
He's there, half submerged in the grain. He's been dead for half a day at least. The man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder.
Anything?
Yeah, your kid's dead.
He chokes back a sob.
I told him not to go up there. I told him.
He looks up at the tower, then turns to you, tears tracking down his grimy cheeks.
Yeah, sorry about that. That sucks for your kid.
Just a moment there.
He says, shaking your hand.
Wait a
I'm
second.
Paul Dalhart from the Republican Herald.
Pedro Cantor.
You may have heard
Welcome
of it.
to the squad.
Syndicated in 6 counties. Well, no matter. But listen, You may have noticed a vocal few out there. I call them naysayers, who throw up their hands and fly the white flag as soon as life gets a little tough. But wouldn't you agree that it's never been a better time to live and do business in this country?
Wouldn't you say that you're entitled to the sweat of your brow?
Ha! Pessimism, negativity, faint-heartedness. He claps his notebook shut. If there is to be an end to the great American experiment, it'll be your attitude that writes it, not mine.
Okay, so it's the squinty guy again, and he's gonna tell me about the killer pigeons. Oh, this is the pigeon keeper, the necro pigeon guy. Okay. All right, good. Yeah, upgraded necro pigeon. I also gotta check because I think that last story might be a funny one. The one about me getting goofed on. Oops. I don't actually know how to back out of that story's interface. See, like I can only click it and then it, okay. Not the boy in the grain silo, no. the one that I fell for, the one in Cincinnati. How do I back? Like, look, I want to just back. Nope. Escape backs me out all the way out of the menu. I can't, yeah. What else we got? I didn't catch what type of story it was. Unfortunately. Yeah, the triangle one, but there's a dead boy in the silo. So it was a devil story? Oh yeah, there it is. Mischievous Ghosts. Yep. All right, great. Thank you. But that's Cleveland. Is Cleveland named after Grover Cleveland? It isn't, right? It's a different thing. Franklin. Hey,
Why,
buddy.
hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist. You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life.
General Moses Cleveland. Okay, different Cleveland.
Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend.
I don't think you work that job anymore.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Exciting stories. How about a story about... I have 2 bull stories. Actually, a lot of my stories are bull, TBH. How about an exciting story about killer pigeons? No, that's a scary one. Let's tell them about the trickster with the magic stones.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though. Home is where we go back to. It's where we belong. But there's nothing wrong with spending a little time in the rest of the world every now and again. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
A hopeful story. Do I have any? Have I told any hopeful ones yet? Reporter of the newspaper with strictly positive views. I guess that's hopeful, right? Unless you're cynical.
I'm not sure I get it, friend.
Apparently. Okay, not a hopeful story.
When it comes to the job, the right and wrong choices are pretty simple. When a passenger pays good money for a trip, it's only natural they expect a good trip in return. So a porter will treat you right because it's the right thing to do. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
We got any happy ones? Happier stories are harder to come by. Oh, I guess the man who made molasses seemed like that was pretty happy. That guy was like friendly and stuff. Let's try that one. Because I haven't tried that one before either.
A positive
go.
attitude. That's what I like to hear. Joy. A good porter always finds his own happiness in the joy he brings to passengers through good work. You know what we call this job? Miles of smiles, friend. Miles of smiles. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
What's your deal? Why are you out here? All right, you want a funny story? Let me tell you a funny story about some fucking ghosts bamboozling my ass. I got bamboozled by a ghost.
I'll keep this story in my pocket for sure. It'll make some passenger laugh. Traps? Imprisonment? Well, there's a difference between a train you have to ride and a train you get to ride. We porters want that difference to be us. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitation you seek. Let me tell you about a cool bull that I know. Where's that bull?
Whew, that's a wild one, all right.
I thought you'd like that.
Authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that.
This game's a little bit like Valhalla, which I'd been thinking about but hadn't really gotten the idea around my in my head. The idea of like, give me something sweet, give me something sugary, give me something sour, and like knowing the drinks. We don't have a manual to look it up, but it's very much the same like style.
It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss, to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman porters give you a taste, so boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
Thanks, buddy. That guy was weird and friendly, and we are nice and rested. Let's yeah, let's see. Let's take a look at the map.